kings, matriarchs, nobles, and protectors. But I mean, Moors, men and women, mothers and fathers. Peace. We because Abdullah was sitting here, we always are brainstorming. Thank the Most High Creator that we do this because we're not in this thing for ourselves. We're in it for our people too also. We're not setting no doors or setting up any boundaries for enemies. What we're doing is creating salvation and redemption for our people. And one of the ways that is going to have to happen is we're going to come up with a new school of thought that the Europeans have not offered. I mean, they can't offer this. Excuse me, hear me out. What? Based on ancient principles of our foremothers and forefathers. Let me say it right. We're not a bearer of this knowledge. So what we do, we go back to the ones that bear record. See, I'm going to explain something. No, we are not the bearers of the information. No one can bear record. What we can do is say that we use the record as evidence. Our ancestors' records and knowledge, philosophy as evidence. They're the one to bear record. When they hold the records. Who do you hold the records from? They hold the records from the bearers. The bearers are the first ones that dealt with this science and laid it down. The ones that come behind them are going to bear the record. So we got to get this straight. Let's stop fooling our people like we got all this knowledge. It's us. It's not me, Abdullah. We bear record to what's already written as evidence. So let's get this straight. So we'll bump no heads. Now I said we do the laws of nations. I'm looking at the laws of nations, not the way a European wrote the book, the way our ancestors seen it through their eyes. So I'm gonna build a record as evidence where they see it. Here we go. Our ancestors knew full well what Admiralty law meant in two ways: land and things that was created by them to navigate for commerce, economics, trade, barter, exchange, and it had to be goods on it. So what they would do is the first vessel is the land. We are the cargo. This is why on the land you got kings, chiefs, emperors. On the vessel you got captains, admirals, generals. Come on, please hear me out. These are titles given to officials, bodies. On ships and on the land they call chiefs, emperors, kings, queens, emperors, clan, head of clan, amirs, sharifs, Bey. So what I'm saying is that on the land, these are titles and Admiralty as the land floated the water. But on the vessel that navigates the land never moves. What's going to have to do about the land?
Yeah. Well,
yes.
A constant floating on water remaining stable in its original longitude and latitude under the settled principles of the sun, moon, and stars and air engulfed in a sphere. A vessel constantly floating and never and remained constantly floating and set principles unless it's separated through plate tectonics.
But see, we are not being taught this though about Admiralty. Or you taught, oh man, we Admiralty law, and you go to court when we do a contract. Hold up, I agree. Hold up. Where does law come from? The United States created a fiction plane in language. See, this is what we gotta understand. Let's teach this right. They created a fiction plane that shifts through meaning. See, like the land shifts through breaking up and shifting. The jurisdiction shifts through language. Because language also can be settled and language be broken. What you talking about, Shim? If I control the definition of a word, if I change that definition that was well settled for 100,000 years, what just happened? I shifted. I broke the people. I broke the people up. Not only broke the people, I broke the jurisdictions up. Because once one is speaking different languages, they can no longer understand each other. So what they do is they break up into sets, groups, and form what? Communities, form nations. You must understand this. So Admiralty, the reason why the treaties were made by the Emperor of Morocco and these foreign powers, because they were set on different vessels. Morocco sat on the land under the sun, the moon, and governed by the cycles of the moon, set in the sun, and navigated by the stars in a different location, geographical location that did not move unless it shift. It shift breaks and land breaks apart. But the rocket did not lay in the latitude, geographical latitude, latitude of the European powers. So therefore, by being spread out by latitude and latitude of the air of the cosmos, the powers of the cosmos, they had to come to a voyage. That means they had to get a vessel made and travel a ship from one vessel to another vessel. And by doing that, this is called commerce. One nation said, I want to go somewhere else and do business with other nations because they got what? Plants. They got wealth. They got the things that we don't have on this part of the world. So when that happens, man's creating what you call laws, which mean policy, govern the air, land, and water. I mean, what you mean? Govern them on the land, private policy concepts on the air and on the water. So that's everybody say, man, that's the law. No, excuse me, let's get it right. Law means land, air, and water. On the law, on the water, there's policies, there's rules, there's orders. On the land, it's the same thing.
What would our people refer to as that's the law? What would unconscious Moors, what would the millions of unconscious Moors refer to as that's the law?
Private policy of a private corporation.
All right. Private policy or state statutes, state legislation. So yes. I just want to get to
private policy.
All right. Of states that were that the 13 original states allowed to operate upon Moorish land, that authority to operate in the British zone that was established by British conquest and colonization, where the boundaries of longitude and latitude are set in the English colony charters, 13 English colony charters on our land, established through British conquest and colonization.
Yes, that's right.
That authority was relinquished and thereby granted to the 13 states. Article 1 of the 1783 Definitive Peace Treaty between Great Britain and the United States. Great Britain granting the 13 states the authority to operate in the zone, the British zone, establishment of British sovereignty that was established on our land through British conquest and colonization. Now you say there were so the 13 states, retained their independency, their sovereignty in the Articles of Confederation. United States bids all 13. In the Article 1 of the Definitive Peace Treaty between Great Britain and United States, 1783, His Britannic Majesty acknowledges the states, United States independence, which is on the Declaration of Independence. So His Britannic Majesty, King George III, acknowledges the Declaration of Independence in that treaty. He also acknowledges each of the states as free, sovereign, and independent, as he treated with them and individually. So each of the 13 states were granted, allowed to operate within the boundaries of each of the respective 13 English colony charters. All right?
Yes.
So as a result of that authority granted to the 13 states, the 13 states already had a constitution. Each of them had a constitution that they drafted. Their constitutions were drafted through constitutional conventions in 1777. In 1777, the states were formed through constitutional conventions and ratification conventions. They signed the Declaration of Independence. also drafted the Articles of Confederation in 1777. So this Article 1, His Britannic Majesty acknowledges all that. So when they say the law is New York State, South Carolina State, in 1787, the 13 states delegated more power to a central governing body through the principles of federalism. Under the Articles of Confederation, the states had more power. Under the Constitution, they wanted to create a more perfect union whereby delegating more power to a central governing body. They were not being able to operate upon the land without that authority being relinquished and granted to them by His Britannic Majesty King George III through Article 1 of the 1783